नमस्कार बच्चों, आप सभी को इस वर्चुअल क्लास में स्वागत है। बच्चों, अब तक हमने इस वर्चुअल क्लास के एपिसोड में नेशनल इनकम, जिसे हम राष्ट्रीय आय कहते हैं, इनकी गणना के बारे में हमने देखा। इसके अंतर्गत हमने 3 विधियां देखी, जहां पर हम उत्पाद विधि, आय विधि और व्यय विधि, इन तीनों विधियों के आधार पर हमने यह सीखा कि कैसे हम राष्ट्रीय आय की गणना कर सकते हैं। और इसके साथ ही साथ हमने ये भी देखा कि राष्ट्रीय आय की गणना करते वक्त किन बातों की ध्यान रखनी चाहिए, जहां पर हम ऐसी कौन कौन सी विषय हैं जिन्हें हम राष्ट्रीय आय के अंतर्गत इनकी गणना करेंगे, और ऐसी कौन कौन सी विषय जिन्हें हम राष्ट्रीय आय की गणना में शामिल नहीं करेंगे। तो बच्चों, इसे ही आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं चाहूँगा कि हम ऐसे कुछ स्टैंडर्ड प्रिकॉशंस और कुछ ऐसे सावधानियां हैं जिन्हें हम राष्ट्रीय आय की गणना करते वक्त ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए, और इन विषयों से आप हमारी परीक्षा में पूछी जाने वाली जो छोटे और 1 मार्क की जो क्वेश्चंस होती है, इन प्रश्नों को आप बड़े आसानी से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं। तो बच्चे, बड़े ध्यान से सुनिएगा। सो स्टूडेंट्स, इन दिस एपिसोड वी विल बी लर्निंग अबाउट द प्रिकॉशंस रिगार्डिंग द कैलकुलेशन ऑफ नेशनल इनकम। वी नीड टू स्टडी अबाउट द डूज एंड डोंट्स regarding the calculation of national income. So students, here we will study about some concepts, some values which is not to be included in the calculation of national income through all these 3 methods of calculating national income in the economy. Look at the first one, that is the gifts from abroad. So these are the transfer payments. So whenever the gifts are being received from abroad as donations, charity, or in some other form as a transfer payment, these values will not be included in the calculation of national income. Second one, unemployment allowances. So you know that these allowances are given to those people who are not employed. So we can say that these kind of payment which are being made to the unemployed peoples will not be included in the calculation of national income, because you can guess the reason. Why? Because this payment is being considered to be the transfer payment, and you know very well that we will not include the value of transfer payments in the calculation of national income. Look at the third one, that is the financial help tsunami victims. Not only tsunami victims, all the financial helps made to the victims of the disaster will not be counted in the calculation of national income. And again, we have the same reason, because these kind of help made to the victims of the disasters they are considered as the transfer payments. Then we have the purchases of vegetables by a restaurant or any shop. So when these vegetables are being purchased by a restaurant owner, you know that we will not include the value of those purchased vegetables in the national income, because these purchases are considered to be the intermediate consumption. And we have studied in the product method that while calculating the national income by value addition of the product method, we will include only the value of final goods and services produced in the economy and utilized by the consumer. So here the purchases made by the restaurant owner will not be considered in the calculation of national income, because they are considered to be the intermediate consumption, because further these goods will be transformed into another final good. Next we have the expenses on electricity by the factory. Even again, I want to say that this is also a part of a intermediate consumption, because electricity which is being utilized in the factory, they are being considered to be the intermediate consumption utilized in the production of another good. So here we will not include the expenses on electricity. Then leisure time activity. What are these activities? So these are the activities which we used to do during our off time or during our free time. Take an example of growing vegetables in our household or in the kitchen garden. So when these activities are done, here we will not include these activities in the calculation of national income. Why? Because the value added through such activities is not counted in the estimation of national income, because we cannot able to estimate the exact market values of these activities in the economy. Then we have the services rendered by the housewives. Again, these are not included in the national income because we have already studied about this precaution in the previous episode, where it is said that here also we cannot able to estimate the exact market values of the services rendered by the housewives or the services rendered by our parents in the household works or the housekeepings. So here we will not include the services rendered by the housewives in the calculation of national income. Then the money received by an individual resident from his son who is working abroad. So here also this money which is received by a father from his son working at abroad will not be included in the calculated national income, because very easily you can guess the reason here, because this kind of payment is being considered to be the transfer income or transfer payments. So here we will not include the money received by a resident from his son working from abroad. Then we have the interest received from a friend on loans offered to him for the purchase of a motorbike. Here also we will not include those interest received by a friend in the calculation of national income, because the loans which are being utilized, they are not used for the production purpose. So when these monies are not utilized in the production process or production purpose, at that time also we will not include these values in the calculation of national income. And at last we have one more thing, that is the corporate profit tax. So it is not included in the estimation of national income, as it is a flow out of profits as the transfer payments made to the government. So at that time we will not include the corporate tax in the calculation of national income separately. So here you need to know that we have studied about the components of profit in the calculation of national income through income method, where we have seen that the profit can be further bifurcated into three components, that is dividend, undistributed profit and the corporate profit tax. So however, if these kind of questions are asked in the examination, where how do we treat corporate tax in the estimation of national income, then the answer should be what? We will not include the value of corporate profit tax separately, as it flows out of the profit as a transfer payment to the government. Now apart from this, we will see some do's. That means what are the values are there which is need to be included in the calculation of national income. Look at here. So first we have the defense and security services. So for maintaining law and order and defense of the country, the government has to employ defense personnel, policemen, judges and other persons. So these services of the persons may be taken into the calculation of national income, as they are considered to be the intermediary or the final services. So that these final services, so far as they provide the security and peaceful existence of the household, we will include these service value in the calculation of national income. On the other hand, they may be treated as the intermediary services in so far as they provided peaceful environment to the productive process in the economy. However, it is very difficult to assess the extent to which these services are intermediate or final. So accordingly, as a matter of convention, these are treated as the final services and therefore included in the calculation of national income. Next we have the free services by the government. So the free services like the education, medical, the transportation, street lights, all these services rendered by the government to the public, they are being given free of cost. So which is a part of government's final consumption expenditure. So in the calculation of national income through expenditure method, what we have seen that we have the value of G. So what do you mean by G? G is the government final consumption expenditure. So these kind of expenditure made by the government to public free of cost will also be included in the calculation of national income, as these expenditures done by the government is a part of the expenditure on final goods and services. Then we have employees' contribution to provident fund. So it is included in the calculation of national income. Students, can you guess where we have studied about this concept? Correct? We have studied about this concept in the calculation of national income through income method, where it is a part of the compensation of employees given to the labor. So it will be included in the national income. Then apart from this, we have rent received by an Indian resident on the building rented out to the foreign embassies in India. So here also will include the rent received by an Indian resident, because it is the income from rest of the world and forms a part of the net factor income from abroad. So that is why we will include the value of rent received by an Indian resident on a building rented out to foreign embassies in India. Then we have profit earned by a branch of an Indian bank in London. So when there is an Indian bank which is operating at London, so whatever the profit which is earned by these banks will also be included in the calculation of national income, because they are the part of net factor income from abroad. So we will include the profit earned by this Indian bank in London. Then we have the wages received by Indian employees working in Pakistan embassy. It is included in the national income, since Indian employees of Pakistan embassies are the normal resident of a country. As we have learned that the income received by the normal resident of a country will be included in the calculation of national income of our country. Then the salary to the foreign technical specialist. So as a part of factor income to the non-resident, it will be reduced from the value of national income. So we will reduce the salaries made to the foreign technical specialist who used to make frequent visits to our country. And at last we have one more thing, that is the dividend received by an Indian resident from his investment in a foreign financial firm or financial industry. So it is included in the national income of India because it is a part of net factor income from abroad. So by this way we can say that we need to include the values of these concepts in the calculation of national income. The only thing is what we need to see that whether these incomes are being made by the normal residents of the country or these services are being produced within the domestic territory of a country. When these things are being done in a country, the values, the money earned by these people will be included in the calculation of national income. So these are the basic do's and don'ts which we need to keep in mind while calculating the national income through all the three methods of getting the national income in the economy. Okay students, we have a fundamental question in our economy where there is an argument only the production of those goods should be included in the estimation of national income, which flows from producer to the consumer through the market. So what it says that we will include the values of those goods and services produced from a producer, and then it is being transferred to the consumer through the market. So here we have a situation where we can see that there are large number of farmers in our country who used to produce only for self-consumption, and they do not sell their products in the market because these productions are barely enough for the consumption by the farmers' family themselves. Thus, the final goods, that is the rice and wheat and other cereals produced by these farmers, are being consumed without any market transactions. So here the consumption made by the farmers are done without getting any kind of market transactions. So if only such goods are routed through the market or not to be recorded, such as the economy where the productions are done only for the self-consumption. Here what we can see that the productions which are being done by the farmers, they are being self-consumed. So it shows that there is a zero production in the economy. Students, it sounds ridiculous. Can an economy survive without any production? So what we have learned that we will include only the values of final goods and services which are being made by the producer to the consumer. But here whatever the production made by the farmer, they are being self-consumed. But it is not possible. So here what we will do, we will include the imputed value of production for self-consumption made by the farmer in the estimation of national income. So it is very clear that all the imputed values of production by the farmer will be included. So even when we have the concept of zero production in the economy, we will include those production done for the self-consumption in the calculation of national income. So students, now we will see overview on all the three methods of national income. Okay, students, we have three methods of calculating national income. That is product method, that can be also said to be the value added method. Then we have income method, and at last we have studied about the expenditure method. So by these three methods we can calculate the value of national income. So students, in this episode, once again we will have a review on the all the three methods of calculating national income one by one. So here you will find how we can get the base values, and then these values are being converted into the national income, that is the value of NNP at factor cost. So let's understand the concept with a flow chart. Okay students, look at this flow chart. So with the help of this flow chart we will try to understand the three methods of calculating national income. At first we have the product method, that is value added method, and then we have studied about the income method, calculating national income by income method, and at last we have seen about the calculation national income by expenditure method. So students, the product method can also be said to be the value addition method. So you know why this method is also being called as a value added method. We have read that, we know that it is the sum total of all the final goods and services produced in an economy during an accounting year within the domestic territory by normal resident and the non-resident. So here what we will do, we will start calculating the national income by product method by getting the gross value added at primary sector, then the gross value added at secondary sector, and along with that we will add the gross value added at the tertiary sector. By adding all these three sectors together, we get the value of gross domestic product at market price, that is the value of GDP at market price. So after getting the value of GDP at market price, we can convert this value GDP at market price into the value of national income, that is NNP at factor cost. So before that, one more thing I want to tell you, that here we have added the value addition of final goods and services in all the three sectors. We have studied about one more formula, that is the GDP at market price can be found by getting the value of output minus intermediate consumption. So that can be calculated by sales plus change in stock minus intermediate consumption. So by this way also we can get the value of GDP from the product method. So same way, after getting the value of GDP at market price from the gross value added method and the value addition method, we will start convert the value of GDP at market price into the NNP at factor cost. So how it can be converted? So first we will convert the gross value. So gross value is to be converted into the net value. How it can be converted? By subtracting the value of depreciation. So when we subtract the value of depreciation, we reach to the net value. So so here the value will become gross domestic product at market price will become net domestic product at market price. Then we have one more method where we will subtract the value of NIT, that is NIT, that is net indirect taxes. When we subtract the value of net indirect taxes from the net domestic product at market price, we get the value of net domestic product at factor cost. And at last we have one more step where we need to convert the domestic value into the national value. So how the domestic value can be converted? By adding the value of NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad. So when we add this value, net factor income from abroad, with the domestic
product value, we get the value of national income. So at last here we get the value of national income. So students, so very easily we can convert the values of gross domestic product at market price into national income, that is NNP at factor cost, by knowing the conversion formulas in the calculation of national income. Okay students, now we'll see the second method, that is the calculation of national income by income method. So students, we have read that the base value, the value which we derive from getting the values of the components included in the national income through income method, we get the value of, that is net domestic income. So that can be said to be the NDP at factor cost. So that value we get here by the income method. So before getting the NDP at factor cost, I want to tell you that the income method includes the sum total of all the factor incomes received by all the factors of production involved in the production process in an economy during an accounting year within the domestic territory. So here look at the components. So first of all, we have the compensation of employees. So the compensation of employees is received by the labor or the employee, and again this compensation of employees is being divided into the four bifurcation, that is the wage and salaries in cash, payment in kind, the employee's contribution to the social security scheme, and the pension on retirement. So these components make the sum total of value for the compensation of employees. Then we have the value of the operating surplus. What is operating surplus? Operating surplus is that factor income received from the property and the entrepreneurship. So that is, it have the operating surplus has rent plus interest plus profit. So by these three factor incomes, we get the value of operating surplus. And at last we have one more, that is the mixed income of the self-employed. That means the income earned by a cell phone owner on all the factors of production, where he gets the combination of all the factors of income, that is compensation of employees, rent, interest and profit. When a person alone gets all this income together, the mixture of these incomes, it is being said to be the mixed income. So by adding all these things, we get the value of net domestic income, that is NDP at factor cost. So after getting the NDP at factor cost, we can very easily get the value of NNP at factor cost, that is the value of national income, by adding the value of NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad. So here by making a single conversion, that is by adding only the value of NFIA, we get the value of national income from the net domestic income. And at last we will move to the last method, that is the expenditure method. So what we have read here, this expenditure method can also be said to be the consumption and investment method, or the disposable method, that is income disposal method. So students, here we will see, we have read about the components included in the calculation of national income through expenditure method. So what we have read here, the value which we, the base value which we get from adding up all the components of expenditure method, we get the value of GDP at market price. So the GDP at market price can be calculated by getting the value of C, that is private final consumption expenditure, the value of G, here G value, that is government final consumption expenditure. Then we have the value of I. So here, along with the private final consumption expenditure and the government final consumption expenditure, we will add the value of investment expenditure. So that can be further bifurcated into two, that is a gross fixed capital formation and the change in stock or inventory investment. It can be said to be inventory investment. So by adding both these things together, that is the gross domestic fixed capital formation and the change in stock, we get the value of I, that is investment expenditure. So here the gross fixed capital formation can also be said to be the value of fixed investment. So by adding these two together, we get the value of I, and at last we will add the value of net export, that is X minus M, that is export minus import. So by this we get the value of GDP at market price by the expenditure method. And now what we'll do, we'll start converting the value of GDP at market price to the value of national income, that is NNP at factor cost. So again, as we have done in the product method, the same thing we have to do here. What we'll do, first of all, we will subtract the value of depreciation. The depreciation value will be subtracted from the GDP at market price. We get the value of, that is net value, that is net domestic product at market price. And after getting this value, again we will subtract the value of NIT. What is NIT? And it is the net indirect taxes. How we can get the value of net indirect taxes? That is by subtracting the subsidy from the indirect taxes. So when we subtract the subsidy from indirect taxes, we get the value of NIT, that is net indirect taxes. So after subtracting the value of NIT from the net domestic product at market price, we get the value of net domestic product at factor cost. So the market value will be converted into the factor cost value, and at last we will do the last conversion, that is adding the value of NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad. We get the value of the national value, that is net national product at factor cost, that we call it as the value of national income. So by this method we can very easily get the value of national income in an economy, students. So keep in mind about the calculation and the conversion values, because these kind of questions are being frequently asked in our board examination. So by heart this formula and be thorough with this conversion formula, so that you can very easily attempt any kind of questions in your examinations.
So students, that's all for today. I have given some homework which you can try it yourself at home, and in case of any doubt you can contact us. So note down the homework. Okay students, we will meet in the next episode with the numericals on the calculation of national income. So until then, keep learning, stay safe, stay alert. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.